Hey everyone, for the past few weeks, as the election has been winding down, I've seen something being passed around on social media about Joe Biden's involvement in the taxation of Social Security benefits. So in today's video, we're going to jump in and cover this so you'll know how much of this is true and how much is just manufactured for shares on social media. But before we get to that, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, hit that notifications bell too, because big things are coming. If you're a subscriber with notifications turned on, you're going to be the first to know. And be sure to get a free copy of my Social Security cheat sheet. This is where I've taken the most important pieces of the Social Security system and condensed it down to just one page. Now, I do update this every year, but once you download it once and you stay on my list of email subscribers, I'll automatically send you the newest version as soon as it's available. So there's two subjects that really get the comment section of this channel fired up: politics and taxes. And today I have a combination of both. And this isn't just any taxes. What we're talking about today is the tax you may have to pay on your Social Security benefit. Now, a lot of people feel very strongly about this being a double tax. I mean, after all, you did pay a tax to gain a benefit, and now that benefit is taxed again. But I did cover this exact topic in a video I made not too long ago, and I'll link that up at the end and down in the description as well. And also, if you want to learn more about the broader topic of taxes on Social Security, which I've also covered in depth, I'm going to link that up in the end and in the description below as well. So we have this subject, taxes on Social Security, which can get folks really mad. And then you add politics to the picture. This is the perfect recipe for a viral social media post. For example, there was one post I saw everywhere on Facebook and Twitter. Now, there's several variations of it, but the one that seemed to be shared the most said, prior to 1983, Social Security benefits were not taxable. Joe Biden voted successfully in favor of taxing 50% of Social Security. In 1993, Joe Biden was the deciding vote in raising taxes on Social Security from 50% to 85%. So is this true? Did Joe Biden vote to tax Social Security benefits? Well, there's some truth to this, but to fully understand it, we do need to back up and look at the history of taxation. Social Security benefits weren't taxable at all until 1984, and this means that they were completely tax-free for nearly 50 years. But this all changed as a result of the recommendations of the Greenspan Commission. Now, Congress and President Reagan, a Republican, appointed this group in 1981 to figure out how to fix Social Security because, much like what we're hearing today, the Social Security Trust Fund was also very, very close to running out of money in the early 1980s. So after a lot of negotiations, which was the Democrats wanted to tax benefits and the Republicans wanted to cut benefits, the ultimate fix was decided that up to 50% of benefits could be taxable for individuals with income over a certain threshold. Now, at the time, this was a big deal because there were actually 3 separate Treasury rulings that specifically prohibited the taxation of Social Security. But they found a way around it, and once this 50% tax was widely accepted, it didn't take long for the federal government to realize that they'd been missing billions of dollars in potential revenue. So obviously, the next step is to increase these taxes again. So in 1993, a new law was passed adding a second level of taxes where up to 85% of an individual's Social Security benefit could be taxed. So the current system we have in place for taxing Social Security benefits is actually from 2 laws, one that was passed in 1983 and another that was passed in 1993. So now the question remains, did Joe Biden vote in favor of taxing Social Security? Yes, he did. He voted in favor for both the 1983 law and the 1993 law. So it seems that the post on social media is correct, but to really understand this, let's give it a little context here. The first law in 1983 was actually passed with some broad bipartisan support. In the House, it passed by a vote of 243 to 102. 54 of the no votes were Democrats and 48 were Republicans. In the Senate, it passed by a vote of 58 to 14. And Joe Biden was one of those yes votes. But to be fair, so was President Reagan when he signed it into law. 10 years later, when the 1993 law came up for a vote, the result wasn't nearly as bipartisan. It passed, but in the Senate, there were no Republicans that voted for it and 6 Democrats voted against it. And ultimately, it came up to a tie vote, and it was Vice President Al Gore who cast the deciding vote, not Joe Biden, as the social media post claims. But Joe Biden did vote in favor of increasing taxes on Social Security for the second time. So ultimately, I think the social media post is mostly correct, except for that whole deciding vote thing. So now, when you see this floating around, you're going to have the real story. Hey, once again, don't forget to download my Social Security cheat sheet before you leave, and now check out these videos that you should watch next.